Have you ever been in a situation where you hear that someone is going through something really difficult and unexpected, and you're shocked and you feel terrible, but you have absolutely no idea what to say to that person? You want to help, but you're afraid of saying something stupid or making it worse. So, this is probably a common occurrence for all of us. And it's especially true in the case of young adult cancer survivors. These are people who were diagnosed with cancer between the ages of 18 to 39. And because cancer is so rare for members of this age group, we see a lot of unintentionally unhelpful social support offered to them, or no support at all. Their friends get freaked out and don't know what to do, so they kind of fall off the map as treatment goes on. And really, there's no scripts that exist for how to support a 20-year-old with cancer. Who has to deal with things like college or dating or work or moving back in with their parents. We're so used to people with cancer being in their 60s and 70s. So, researchers have said that this lack of social support is one of the reasons young adults have worse survival rates than pediatric and older adult patients. So, I'm going to tell you the story of a 25-year-old named Mike with testicular cancer. And Mike's a combination of 31 young adult cancer survivors I interviewed for an article I published a few years ago. And I think his story will help us quickly get a sense of the things that often don't work, sometimes work, and commonly do work when attempting to support a young adult with cancer, or really anyone who's going through anything difficult. So here are the things that absolutely did not help Mike adjust to his cancer experience. First, Mike really didn't like it when his brother offered him pity and exaggerated sympathy, which just made him feel worse. He went out with his friends right before he started treatment, and he said, quote, "It was almost like watching my own funeral because they mourned around me the whole night." Mike was also really frustrated by his peers' attempts to be empathetic when they told really negative and scary stories about their own cancer experiences. They would say, quote, "My great uncle had leukemia and he died, so I know what you're going through." And it's like, first of all, thank you for that, but you also don't know what I'm going through. You don't know it all. Mike's friends also tried to initiate supportive conversations with his cancer or about his cancer by making comments that were sometimes awkward and insensitive. So one friend asked Mike after he had surgery to remove a testicle if he would still have enough testosterone to make him a guy. And he was like, "Thank you for that. That was pretty rude." Fourth, some of Mike's other friends went in the complete opposite direction and treated him with kid gloves by excessively monitoring everything they said to him. One of his friends was so worried about upsetting him or being inconsiderate about his cancer, when Mike was going through treatment, that she said she felt silly telling him some weird or funny thing that happened to her. And Mike was treated very differently, and as a result, he felt isolated. He just wanted people to treat him normally. And Mike also hated it when extended family and former classmates he hadn't talked to since middle school kind of came out of the woodwork to support him. He said he felt these people emerged from estrangement not because they generally cared about him, but because they felt bad for him, or they felt guilty, or they were just trying to, quote, get in on the drama. Mike also received a few other forms of support that sometimes helped and sometimes didn't. And so this was often a paradox between things that really frustrated him in the moment, but that he later admitted were necessary for him to get through his cancer. So, first, Mike was really frustrated by his mom, quote, going overboard and helping him achieve tasks. He felt she was really hovering and babying him, and she had to do everything for him. And, he had to move back home after getting diagnosed, which was a huge shift for him, trying to be independent in his life as a 25-year-old, and he thought that really made things a little bit worse. Second, Mike also felt that his girlfriend was really suffocating and smothering him. She always wanted to be around, and so did his whole extended family, it felt like. He said it was really awkward that within the first few months of dating his girlfriend, she saw him with a urinary catheter and was in his room when he was having it removed. But at the same time, Mike acknowledged that even if he didn't want to be cared for, he needed it. And during the times when everyone kind of left him alone for long periods of time, he was really bored and he missed that relational support. Mike also sometimes appreciated people's Facebook posts about the strength and the grace that he kind of displayed as he went through treatment. But other times he felt that the comments about him being kind of like an inspiration to them, or courageous or wise beyond his years because of his cancer, felt really naive and overblown and invalidating. They didn't see him when he was sleeping 16 hours a day or puking all the time and, lashing out at people because he was so angry during treatment. He felt like they were placing him on like an unwanted pedestal that he didn't want or deserve. So what Mike wanted wasn't rocket science. He just wanted to be treated normally, the same way he was before he got diagnosed. So what worked was when Mike's friends took him out to a bar or came over to his house to watch a movie, or they talked to him about girls they thought were thinking about asking him out, or they didn't act freaked out or overly sympathetic about his missing testicle, his bald head, and his surgical scar from his sternum all the way to his belly button. So hopefully, if you're ever in this position to offer support to anyone with cancer or really anything difficult, you'll remember Mike's story. And so please, if you have any comments or questions, please reach out. There's my email address and my Twitter handle. Thanks.